Hey Dreamers, this is Jade and welcome back for another Journal with Me episode. Now I am in my whatever journal, my anything journal, my whatever I want to do in this journal, and I really need to think up a name for this journal so I don't keep calling it all of that foolishness. However, what I'm doing in these next couple of journal pages, well, this spread and then the next one, is I want to document my Receiptifies for the months of April through July of this year. Now, Receiptify is just this app that you can download and use if you have Spotify. I'm not sure if it works with any other music streaming services, but you can check that out for yourself. However, this was something that I think I was watching Lydia from February and June, and she had mentioned it a few times in her journaling. So I finally downloaded the app to see what it was all about, and it like gives you your top 10 for the month for monthly once you pull it up. And I will say that I don't know if it is like 100% accurate because I swear I be feeling like there are some songs that are just like I'm ridiculously repeating and then something else will edge it out. So, as I said, I'm not sure of the accuracy 100%, but it has to be pretty close because a lot of that stuff is like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. So, again, if you have Receiptify, if you have Spotify, you can download this app called Receiptify and go into it every month, and it'll give you the top 10 songs of the last 4 weeks. So whenever you pull it up, it will also, and I just found this out on in July. It will also give you, I think, like your top 10 artists that you listen to as well. So you can check that out if you want to get your stats on that. I love Spotify just for the fact that at the end it'll give you your end of year wrap up and all of your stats and what you listened to the most and what song you had on the most and all that kind of yada yada yada. And this kind of breaks that down monthly, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so when I decided that I wanted to journal these Receiptify receipts, and they look like receipts. And there's two different formats you can print them out in, but one is a receipt, and I like that one the best. So I'll just send that to airdrop it to my what do you call this thing my iMac, and I print it out or whatever. So in trying to consider how I wanted to journal these, two things came to me, and so the first was making squiggly lines and like coloring it in with like rainbow colors. Now, pastel rainbow colors though, so they're not like completely Roy G. Biv, but they are some form of Roy G. Biv. So instead of like red, I use that pink there. And then like the green is more for like a blue green, and then yeah, and on and on and on. I think you can tell by what is on that screen there. And I have been wanting to use my pull out my colored pencils and use those as well because I haven't in eons, like eons. I have not used my colored pencils. So that's the first thing because I'm like trying to consider how I wanted to present this on the page. I'm like, what am I gonna do? So I just thought about it for a while, and that's what I saw in my head. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's simple, and then I can just kind of decorate around it. That'll work. And then once I started working on it, I got the idea to actually get a picture of the artist that happened to be the top artist for the last 4 weeks, or like the artist that is the favorite, the top number one spot song for those last 4 weeks, and print that out and add it as well. So as you can see, April and May, it happened to be James Arthur. So for like April, my Receiptify app receipt tells me that I was listening to Treehouse by James Arthur as my number one song. Ed Sheeran came in a close second with Eyes Closed. And then there was another form of Treehouse, so he like has a few different versions of this song, some featuring artists. I found the one featuring a different artist first, And then I found the one with just his vocals, and I that's the one that I ended up listening to the most because that's the one I like the most, whatever. And then there's this song called Older by Connor Matthews, Waste Your Time, Connor Maynard. That is a being number one, and that has been number one before. Um, what Am I? Why Don't Me? I don't even know what that is. What a Man Gotta Do by the Jonas Brothers. I freaking love that song. If We Never Met by John Kay. I Don't Care with Justin Bieber and Ed Sheeran, of course. And Let It Go by Keisha Cole and Missy Elliott. Look, and this must be the month that I went back and was listening to Keisha Cole. So, yeah. Anyway, so I have James Arthur there, and like I said, he is on both sets. So for May, again, the song for him I was listening to a lot was he did a cover of A 1,000 Years by Christina Perri, and I absolutely love the man's voice is just beautiful. So yeah, and then again, Eyes Closed, Ed Sheeran, My Love Don't Stop by Craig David. That was one that was just on repeat. And I have a story about that. And then again, Connor Maynard, Waste Your Time, Chronically Cautious, Older, Treehouse, Good Thing, and What Am I? Why Don't We? What is that? I need to go back and listen to that because I don't even know what that is. It must have just been coming up frequently on a playlist that I was listening to. Anyway, I am just rambling here, but you guys pretty much get the gist. Anyway, so as you can see, I have gotten down like that squiggly rainbow or whatever, and I'm going back. Of course I wrote out April and May. Now I'm looking at those A's, and I'm looking at the A's, and I'm like, they don't quite seem right, and I didn't put like the where it joins, where it's like a triangle there. I should have just made it a straight line. It would have made it look more like a. But I mean, I think everybody gets the gist. And again, I did the rainbow colors with the coloring in the April and May, and I just went, Roy G. Biv order. And so, yeah. And so now what I'm going to do, and with those, I also went back and just kind of added like just a small teach of shadows with my uni pen, and it just makes it stand out more off the page. And so now I am delving into my stamps. One of those stamps, like the musical notes stamps, is from Maggie Holmes. I'm not sure of the collection name. However, you all know that anything that I can link, you can find in the description box below, so you can just check there. But I will try and link it if I can. And then I also use, I think this is another Maggie Holmes, 'cause I feel like the collection name is like Good Heart or Sweetheart, something. I can't even remember. But again, it will be linked below. This other one where like the stars and the hearts come from this second one, and then like the musical notes come from the other one. So yeah, anyway, I am just like spreading those out. There's not too much of a rhyme or reason of where I'm putting things, although that I thought about it once I was putting those musical notes down, and I'm like, oh, that actually looks kind of like the lines that you use, when band people are using for reading their musical notes and stuff. So I said I can put some notes here, and it'll just look like it's on there. So yeah, and then I'm coloring in a few of those. Actually, all of the stamps there, the ones that can be colored in, like the stars, and I'm going to outline like the hearts and stuff, excuse me, just to give it a little more color and make it pop off the page a little more. Sorry, I'm like burping consistently. Thankfully, they're silent. But anyway, yeah, and that finishes up April and May. So the second idea that I came up with, because I knew I had to have another one, I had a flash in my head of the swirlies that I used to do. Now, this is not my idea, okay? This is totally inspired by this lady I used to watch on YouTube all the time. I think her channel name, well, her channel name now is called Candace Ann Creates. She hasn't posted up there in quite a while. However, it used to be something like We Cottage or something like that, and she ended up changing it. So, but I was able to find her again. I was like, who is the lady that used to do these little swirlies? Because I used to try to do them too, because I just thought they were so freaking pretty. So definitely go and check out her YouTube if you want to see more of this type of thing here, because I just thought they were gorgeous. And like I said, when I first started like journaling, hoping getting back into journaling consistently and stuff like that, I would try and do these little swirlies in my Fobonichi that I got. Remember the Miguel Reyes or Miguel, however the hell you say the name, notebooks that everybody was getting from Barnes and Noble? That was around the era of when I was really into these swirlies, and I haven't seen or done one of these in forever and a day. So this was what flashed in my head for the second decoration, and I was like, I'm gonna do a freaking swirly. And I think that I'm probably gonna try and start incorporating these a little more in my journaling, because I just love them so much, and they are just so pretty to me and fairly easy to do. So yeah, anyway, so I'm getting some color in again, using again the pastel Roy G. Biv type of thing. But instead of using my colored pencils this go round, because they wouldn't, I don't personally think they would have melded together. You guys know the word I'm thinking of, and it's like right at the tip of my brain, and it is not coming off of it at the moment. But you know what I mean. When you, whatever, okay. Anyway, so I decided to pull out my pastels from, well, they're Prima. However, now they are under the company of Art Philosophy. So yeah, I'm using my pastel watercolors, and I love them so much. And they're giving me the same vibes as the color pencils that I picked out to use. Again, like I said, doing the kind of Roy G. Biv type of thing going on, and making sure they blend. That is the word I was looking for with each other. Now, I could have done a better job in some areas, but I waited a little too long to start the blending and yada yada yada. But for the most part, I really, really love the way that this turns out. It is so pretty, and I just love the colors. I just love the pastel colors. So yeah, I'm getting that all colored in, and I will be pulling those pastels out again a few more times, just to add some embellishments or color something in. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going over this again, trying to thicken up the lines, straighten lines out just a little bit. Now here I am using one of the Funosuke, what do you call it, Tombow pens or whatever. And of course, with something like this, because I've been using watercolors, I definitely wanted to use a pen that would not smudge or smear with watercolors. So definitely for that. And I wanted something that was going to give me some thick outlines, thick lines for this, because I'm going to go back in with my Arteza white gel pen and make some dots around the edge in the black there. Now, you could use whatever you want in those dots. I mean, you could decorate it more. You could like re-outline the entire thing and do other stuff. Again, check out the original artist where I got. Can I talk? Jesus, check out the original artist where I got this from. Again, her name is Candace Ann Creates. I will, if I remember, I will try and link her below. And just check out some of her work. It is so pretty, and she does so many different things. With this. However, I am honestly a fan of the simple, just adding the white dots around, because it's just simple and pretty. So yeah, I'm again using the Arteza white gel pen here to add those dots, and it just really brings that swirly up off of the page, for me anyway. So yeah, and then I have to get with the program of journaling my receipts for the months of June and July. Now, I wanted the swirly to mostly be visible. I knew I would be covering up a bit of it. And if I had used the original size that I used in the previous spread, it would have been covering up way more. But I want them big enough so I can read what the actual songs were, but I not big enough that they were covering up everything. So I did go back in and resize, and these are just a slightly smaller than the ones that I used, the sizes that I used on the other side. Which, if anybody is interested, the other side is they are 4 by 2, so tall, 4 length, 2 width, and I do believe that these are 3 by 1.5 or something like that. So yeah, and those embellishments that I'm using are printables from Retro Hip Company. I think it's called something Summer, Retro Summer or Musical Summer. I can't remember. Again, I'll try to link it below. But yeah, so of course, Ed is my top artist in the month of June with the song Dusty. If you have not listened to Dusty off of the Subtract album, go and do it right now. It is beautiful. And matter of fact, go watch the video. It is the cutest thing ever. And then of course, Eyes Closed. Well, basically, my month in June is Ed Sheeran. The entire Receiptify is Ed Sheeran because I was listening to Subtract pretty much the entire month. So that's what that is. Now, I did say that in July or in 1 month that Connor Maynard would be coming back as number one with the song Waste Your Time. Love that song so much. I've been listening to it since November of last year consistently, if I'm not mistaken. And so, yeah. So, Ed, I put him over there, and it looks like he's just kind of hanging from a tree branch. And then I put Connor over there on the left, and it just kind of looks like he's just sitting there contemplating something. And I really like the way that that looks. So, yeah, as you can see, I had to audition and try out different spots, and eventually I settled on that little curve there for Connor because I couldn't decide at first where I wanted him to go. Anyway, I'm trying to get the June and July lettered out there. Of course, when I'm writing out June, I was thinking about July, so I had to go back and redo June the way that it was supposed to be. And now I'm getting July down, and I will go in, of course, with my uni pen and outline all of that. And what I'm doing here is just like, Jay, why are you writing all of that stuff and then you're erasing it? This paper, um, the eraser on my pencil, it kind of sucks, and so I like to use a kneadable eraser, and it doesn't usually always erase on this paper. Really, really good, but for these purposes, it did fine. I just wish, like, in my last spread that I was working on, I should have erased those lines before I started, and I didn't think about it until I was halfway through. So, yeah, this time I tried to go ahead and go back through and erase them first and then start filling stuff in. So, I have the general guideline of where I need to put stuff and where I need to go over stuff, but that pencil's not coming up through the color, whatever. So yeah, again, doing the same thing here as far as the coloring with the Roy G Biv colors. I just love these so much. They're so soft and pretty. It's giving me all of the summer vibes going on here. So yeah, getting July in, and then with my uni pen, I'm gonna go right back in and make the shadows just like I did on the last one. And for the most part, that wraps this up. I will go back through just like the other spread and add some hearts and stars and music notes and stuff like that. And this pretty much wraps up how I decided to journal my Receiptify receipts for the months April through July. I'm looking forward to seeing what August will bring me as far as that, and then I'm gonna have to come up with some other idea for that one. So yeah, looking forward to that. But I am going to stop rambling. I'm trying to figure out if there's something that I didn't tell you all that I wanted to tell you all. At the moment, I can't think of it. So anyway, I'm definitely gonna have to get my second quarter journal update done. So look forward to that, and I need to do a November 2022 flip through. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I know this was longer than my usual videos, so yeah. I hope you stuck with me the whole way, and I trust that everyone is safe and well. If you have any comments or questions about anything, please leave those below, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye.